Joining me now is Lieutenant Colonel James Jay Carafano, Vice President for National Security and Foreign Policy at the Heritage Foundation. Colonel, let's get this out of the way right off the bat. Okay, oil supply hacked, meat supply hacked. How vulnerable are we?
Well, I think part of this is kind of similar to the mass shooting stories. I mean, we've had shootings in the United States, but now whenever there's a shooting, the press jumps on this like this has never happened before. The reality is hacking is part of the modern environment of doing business. Ransomware attacks have been going on for a really long time. So part of it, you have to ask the question is how much of this is all of a sudden we've kind of waken up that this is kind of a constant feature in our life, and how much of this is a really a large and emerging threat? And I mean, the answer is there's probably a little bit of both. This has been going on, but I got to say, we have a new administration, and everybody, not just other countries, transnational criminals, gangs, they all want to test and resolve it. And I think one of the challenges that we've seen coming out of the box in this first 100 days is we haven't had an administration or president who stood up and said, you know what? People that do that stuff in America, we're coming after you. We're going to find you. We're going to get you. We're going to hound you to the end of your days. And I think that kind of demonstrative attitude from the administration might send a better, stronger message than what we currently see, which is we have these hacks and the administration tries to downplay it like it's not our fault. It's not our problem. We don't really want to talk about that. It might make us, it's almost kind of like the Benghazi strategy where something bad happens and it's, well, how can I get this off the plate, make it not my problem, and focus on the things I want to focus on? But I think it does send the wrong message to bad people around the world about whether America is, open for business or an open target.
Well, Colonel, they paid the ransom. That's what floors me. I understand it wasn't the government, but the oil pipeline gets hacked, and they paid a ransom, a gigantic ransom in cryptocurrency. I mean, look, I don't want to speak out of turn here. You're the expert. I'm not. That should be illegal. That invited more attacks, did it not?
Well, I've got to say, back in the 1930s, kidnapping became all the rage. This was a way for criminals to make money, and literally there were a rash of kidnappings across the country. I mean, people have probably heard of Lindbergh's baby, but this was just a way of doing business. The U.S. government didn't respond by saying, well, let's just pay all the kidnappers. They responded by building out the FBI and other federal law enforcement capabilities and going after kidnappers and hitting them with some very, very severe penalties. And I think we probably need more of that. We probably need more on the deterrent end of demonstrating to these guys, if you come after us, we can find you and get you and make you pay a really heavy price.
So it doesn't sound to me like you're that worried about ransomware attacks. It sounds to me, I'm just paraphrasing, feel free to correct me. Yeah, they're going to happen, they're going to hurt, but we're not talking about kneecapping America for any significant period of time, correct? Am I getting that?
Well, look, I mean, the reality is, cyber is an environment that we live in. You can be invulnerable one day and then could be completely compromised the next. So I don't think we think about this as this is a problem to be solved. This is an environment to live in. And, just like viruses, they're constantly coming back. You have to build up your capabilities to deal with that. And they have to be full spectrum. I mean, you have vaccines, but you also have, prophylactics and other, treatments, right? You want to build out your arsenal so you're ahead of the bad guys. That I think is more important. I do think that these send the messages that we're weak on the deterrent end. We've got capabilities. We do things on the back end. We can even find cryptocurrency and where it went and take that money back if we need to in some cases. But we need to send a strong message on the front end that America is not an easy target for this. And I'm not sure this administration really has that on a front burner issue. To me, there's a whole range of issues here, whether it's border security or dealing with Russia or China or Iran, where they just want to take the easy out, push stuff off, and focus on the political agenda, which for them is all encompassing, whether it's federal take over the election system or in these big infrastructure bills. And these other things about the actual physical security of the United States almost seem to be a distraction. I just think that sends the wrong message. Look, we have all the same capabilities that we had 100 days ago, but people need to see that defending America is a top priority from this administration. And it's not a partisan comment. I mean, it's just the reality of how the world works. You know, when all these cities wanted to defund the police, what happened? The crime rate went up. If the US government doesn't send a strong signal that it's out to defend Americans, what happens? People come after us more.
Hey, thanks so much for watching The First on YouTube. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and like and subscribe. You heard me. Like it, subscribe. You'll get a lot more of it and a lot more of me. Thanks.